Everybody, welcome back to the End Goal podcast. You might think something is weird is happening right now because I'm no longer at my usual setup, but this is not the usual frame because there's another person
Throwing it
here
off
with me.
kilter.
Tim Facciola is joining us in the studio for a live podcast session. That's it. That's really it.
That's all we got for you.
That's honestly, this is just a podcast. So I hope you enjoy it. Tim is here to talk to us about his new book coming out, or the Kickstarter for his new book coming out, Forsaken Forge. The Kickstarter itself launches when this goes up, either today itself or tomorrow. It depends on when I upload this. Yeah, I usually upload these on Mondays, but this thing goes live, but the Kickstarter goes live on Tuesday.
Tuesday, March 3rd. Yeah.
So
ready or not.
So maybe this goes live on Tuesday. We don't know yet, but just know that it's going live either today or tomorrow, depending on when this goes live. Forsaken Forge is going to be really cool, and we want to talk about that. I also want to talk to Tim about other things, maybe not specifically Forsaken Forge related. So tune in, strap in, wherever you're going for your commute, focus on the road, and let's just start talking. Tim, welcome to the podcast.
Good to be back. Good to be here in person, live in the flesh.
Not
virtual.
This is my first time meeting you.
I know,
right?
It's crazy.
We met last year online, or no, we met years ago from the release of book 1,
2023. I could tell you the date probably because the book came
out. Why don't you?
The book came out October 24th. Book 1, Vengeful Realm. It was available for free on ebook for the launch, and you tagged me saying like, I picked up this book, got it for free, looks dope. Hopefully it doesn't suck.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, man, cool. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then you finished it in like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I did do that. I do that.
You have, yeah. It is impressive. But so for me, that was really cool for me because I'm like, wow, I just wrote this book. This guy I've never interacted with.
Right.
Picked it up, thought it was cool, read it, and still thinks it was cool because that's not the same thing. That's not a guarantee.
Very fair.
That's not a guarantee.
Can look cool and be not at all.
So the fact that it was cool and you enjoyed it was so cool. And I had a launch party with my family, which was awesome, by the way. If you're an author and if you're a writer and you've been working at something and you finally publish your book, do yourself a favor, because I would have done nothing. I would have been very content to just do nothing and watch the stats of page reads and book sales and whatnot.
Right.
But I'm so glad I didn't. I had my family came out. I had friends come out. We had a the world's biggest charcuterie board, which was essentially the island of my kitchen, all covered with cheeses and meats, and it was
that's sick.
It was incredible.
That's sick.
And then we went to a medieval times because I feel like that also fits the vibe.
Yes.
And our knight didn't win, but he came in second.
Did you have a turkey leg?
Yes. Yes.
Of course.
So that was sweet. Lost my voice doing that because go big or go home.
As you should.
I mean, you don't go to that to just
yes.
Or maybe you do, but I don't. So yeah, and then I'm coming off that high, and then 2 days later, you're I finished it and this was good.
Also,
I think you said actually too. This was actually good. Hey man, why do you say actually like that?
This is amazing because first of all, I remember the exact video because it was in my house with the diffused ceiling light on because I didn't know about lighting or production. It was from my phone, diffused ceiling lighting, so it was still dark and grainy and shitty quality, and my angles and everything were what they were. And I was like, we got to talk about this book because why? And I think it was because at the time I couldn't recall reading a book of this, I think, caliber. So still obviously multiple POV books I read, but nothing as adult or as intense or as epic at the time. And so this book felt like it was out of my wheelhouse almost, right? The themes were fine, but I was like, I'm a 25 to 26-year-old man. I feel like this is one of the most adult books that I've read. in terms of fantasy books and things like that. So that's why when I was reading it, I was like, this shit kind of slaps. Wait a minute, like, also you were a debut author, and I think that's also that's probably where the actually came in,
Sure.
was where I was like, I don't usually read debut books, but I want to get into reading indie authors and debut books. And I think in my head, I was like, if I can be the first to talk about something, that might help me also in like the content sphere, right?
Yeah, sorry about
that's a
that.
lie. But what it did was it started this, which is actually the better outcome.
Mm.
Is regardless of if whatever would have happened with that video and other videos that I made, this happened.
Mhm.
So I think that's what was really, really cool in general.
You know, so okay, so I met on my way here,
Yeah.
I told you I met my buddy Jake,
Yes.
and Jake I've known for 3 years, also only because of this writing business,
Mhm.
only because of this kind of stuff. And, we were talking, and I had said, like, you go in with the intention of, "I'm going to plant these seeds, and these seeds are going to turn into plants. These plants are gonna produce fruits, and these fruits are gonna look like this."
Mhm.
But every time I plant an apple seed, I'm getting an orange tree. Like, there are
Mm.
fruits, but they're
Mhm.
just not what I expect.
Yeah.
And, these relationships are the fruits you didn't expect at
Yes.
all.
Yeah.
No one goes into, or at least I didn't go into, I'm gonna write books to connect with people to people. Like, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you write a story to connect with a reader, but that reader is, an
And like
an
an ephemeral, like,
abstract,
yeah,
yeah,
like
concept.
there's a gap
Yeah.
between what you're writing and who you are, and then who's reading it. Like you might see a review online about somebody who read it, but you don't expect to like,
Personal
this is this
relationship.
person's face. I know this person. Like I'm talking to this person on Discord. Oh, we exchange phone numbers.
His wife just made me food.
Exactly, right? Like, you don't expect that from writing a book. And I think I was talking to Philip C. Quain, PC Quaintrell
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this, that originally when I literally started the call with him and he joined the call before we hit recording, I was like, I'm sorry, I'm usually not like this, but I do have to admit I'm a little bit starstruck because even though, like, I read your books, I love your books, it is just really cool that you're here
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
virtually, in Rivers. I'm talking to you right now, right? And that's kinda how I feel with authors, because growing up, I had the same viewpoint. I'm a reader, the author is a person that I never know,
Yep.
and they are, like, at a different pedestal than me. They've written something, they've made something. I don't make things,
Mm.
right? So, that's why even if I'm, like, even if I'm making videos and tagging authors, I'm always scared to tag authors, because 'cause I'm like, "Am I supposed to?" It's always like, "Am I supposed to? Am I allowed to?"
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
there's people who just tag whoever the fuck they want to, and there's whatever it is. So, tagging you and talking about your book, I was like, "I really hope I like this because I do wanna talk about this book, and if I don't like this and it's this guy's debut book, what am I going to do?"
Sure.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
So, that whole thing. But that's how
There's
we're
a
here
whole
now. That's how I
emotional.
met him.
Yeah. Okay, for anyone out there who's listening to this who, like, might make content, as an author, as a writer, as an indie author, having someone tag you in something is cool
Mhm.
because, like, the amount of time that goes into writing this by yourself,
Mhm.
and for anyone to pick it up and say, "I'm gonna give this a shot,"
Mhm.
that is in many ways, even still, like, now that, it's been over 2.5 years since book one
Mhm.
was published, when people tag me in those videos, I'm like, "Wow, cool. Hey, enjoy. Let me know what you
Mhm.
think." Like, that is still, like, a thing for me.
Yeah.
And I think that I hope I never lose that because it's a very humbling thing. You spend a lot of time by yourself.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time in your head.
Yeah.
And so when someone else is, picking it up,
Mhm.
going into it, taking a chance on it, because, like, it is a time investment. These are big, thick books, and there's a
Massive
lot.
books.
We're in the golden age of content where there's
Yeah.
a lot of big, thick books to
There's a
choose
lot
from.
of things to consume in general, not just
Yeah,
books,
not
right?
just books. Books
Yeah.
are the hardest probably to consume. Like,
Mhm.
you have 6-second videos. You can have,
Mhm.
we have shorts, we have movies, we have TV, we have,
Yeah.
like, so many things that are just
The
easier to
week
consume.
or a month you spend reading a book to get the emotional payoff somebody could drip feed that to you in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. And your brain chemistry is
Yeah.
So I think that there's something really humanizing about getting tagged. So if you're out there and you make content and you're like, I'm afraid to tag. I mean, if you're gonna badmouth the
Yeah, there's rules
maybe,
around
yeah,
it, right? But I
don't.
think if you're
But
saying anything good,
and
no harm comes from it.
even I just got this book
I
and I'm
just got this
excited.
book and I don't know anything about it, but I have it.
Yeah.
And I think even that neutral, it's still nice. And I was thinking about it as you were saying it, like, even if you don't make content and you just have a social media account, don't you kind of feel nice when a friend tags you in something, right? It just makes you feel nice.
Yeah.
And so I think about that at like another level. Like, wouldn't you just feel nice if you made something and somebody tagged you like, "Hey, I watched this thing this guy made. I bought this thing that this guy wrote. I picked this thing up that this guy sold," or whatever it is, right? I think that's cool. I want to go all the way back to medieval times real quick because I have to say this. When I went to medieval times, back in elementary school, whenever we would do those field trips, right?
Great field trip.
My parents would give me like a little bit of money to like get souvenirs and stuff.
What'd you get?
Yeah, these little letter opener swords.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love the letter opener swords so much that my friends and I got them, and we'd be at like recess, like sword fighting with our like hands, and so you get a point. It's like fencing but with hands. So you like you would hit their hand and like you would win.
Point.
You'd get a point. I was dope, but nobody else was trying, which is kind of sad. I really wanted people to like try so we could like sword fight, and I was so caught up in it that I made little like paper sheets for them because they're all like they're not sharp but they're still metal.
Yeah.
So I would like wrap it in like colored paper and like cut out the like the shape of the sword and like and tape it and like I have a little mini sheath and I had like multiple colored different sheets for my sword because I loved making things like that as a kid. Um, and so that's my medieval time story. I think it was pretty cool. I never had enough money to buy the big actual swords.
I hope you never grow up. Hope you never grow up because that is so. I hope you always make out. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to go to medieval times.
Okay,
we're gonna get you a big boy sword.
I want a big boy sword.
I'm not gonna let you stab me with it. We're not gonna sword fight. But you can make as many construction paper sheaths in any color you want.
Yeah. You know, I used to
I think we
make
should do
construction paper swords as well. I used to like I definitely drained my parents' money and their supply of duct tape back in the day because you would get like these massive like long manila sheets of paper. And so they were really good size for the blade of a sword. So you keep folding it inwards until it got to a point, and then you would fold more paper on top of it, on top of it, on top of it. So I think I would go through like 30 to how many ever sheets making this like paper sword. I would then make a cross guard for it. I cut out a little diamond in it, and then I got red paper, cut it into diamonds, and put it into the diamond-shaped hole in the cross guard to make it a diamond, like a ruby like stone inlay. I wrapped that shit in duct tape to make sure like it didn't like go anywhere, and that thing had grip. I wish I still had that now. That with like paper shurikens and things like that as a kid. Now I just make silly little videos online. But I think like there so I do want to say there's this book series right down there. You might not be able to see. It's called The Warriors. It's about cats. So my friend and I, do you think you can reach that Ziploc paper down there all the way on the bottom?
Ziploc paper.
Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah. Hand me that. So these.
Okay. Hold on, my back and front.
Yeah. Scoot back in a little bit more. Perfect. Yes. So these are trading cards. So the thing with the Warrior Cat series is it's 4 clans of cats in the world, in the wild. Yeah, the
CATS.
Cats. Yes, cats. And so my friend and I loved these books growing up. I think, and they're on like, I don't know, like the 5th or 6th or 7th series, like 6-book series or 6-book parts. And so we were obsessed with these. And we got so obsessed that we made like literal rudimentary like paper trading cards out of them. And we would just use the cats in the books. So I had actually written down every single cat.
How many cats are there?
I actually summed it up so I can tell you. In Thunder Clan, there were 37 cats.
Oh my god, so
in
many.
Shadow Clan, there were 37 cats. In Wind Clan, there were 38 cats. I forget at which point of this series when I started doing this. It might have been like part 2 or part 3. In River Clan, there were 47 cats.
47. I mean,
Uh,
sheesh.
the Ancients, which are an unaffiliated clan, like cats, there's 13. The Ancients, etc. And so I wrote it all down. We had about 159 to 190 cats written on this ruled sheet of paper. I wrote check marks by the ones that we had worked on, right? Feel this paper.
I can see by the texture, like this has the this is a well-loved sheet of paper.
Yes, it is.
Hold on. I'm just going to read off a couple of these. Leopard foot. Leopard spelled Leoperd, foot. Not to be confused with leopard paw.
Truly.
Or leopard kit crossed out.
So read that a little bit more. The way this worked is when you're a kit, you get named like a surname almost, right? So
okay.
So it's like so everything is kit. Then when you're an apprentice cat, you're paw.
Okay.
And then when you're like a fully grown adult, it could be claw, tail, foot, eye, ear, whatever it is. And then if you're a leader, that's where star comes in.
Okay, so there's level ups. Okay, how about park whiskers?
Is that an ancient?
That's a dark whiskers. It's dark whiskers, not dark park whiskers.
Yeah.
So and that makes sense for the Shadow Clan. I was like,
yes.
Park.
Yeah.
Dark whiskers, chasing clouds. I'm pretty sure that says that's an A, not a, I thought it said jugged lightning. I was like,
jagged lightning.
Jagged lightning.
Okay, yeah. To be fair, I don't think my handwriting's gotten any better since this.
You know,
so it is what it is. But these are literally all and so my friend and I both worked on this. So some of these are not my handwriting, but we were big fans of Pokemon back in the day, big fans of Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day.
Hell yes.
As we all were. So we have like actual trading cards. Like Pebblefoot has 70 HP. Its main attack is Slash. Its special attack is Blunt Claw. Slash does 60 points of damage. Blunt Claw does 70 points of damage. But then we also have special ability cards like Wind Up, which doesn't have an ability on it because we never finished this stuff.
Okay, hold on real quick. Let me interrupt you. At my dad's house, I am positive I can find not a Ziploc bag, but a little shoebox filled with drawings of Pokemon cards.
That's so funny.
With stat blocks, just like that.
That's so good.
So we're gonna have to compare.
We might have to compare, because
I want to see how would Feather Whisker.
Yeah.
How would Feather Whisker stack up against
Yep.
my I will man, I have some stuff that you will absolutely love.
That sounds amazing.
Shy Fawn, Dawn River. You got some good ones in here.
And these are all from the book, obviously, but like we even went as far as to say this one's a really really rare.
Does it say really rare? How rare? Really rare.
Yeah. What's the
Rive Clan?
What's the name on it?
Probably Hawk Frost.
It probably meant to say River Clan. I just spelled it wrong.
Got excited.
Yeah.
Okay. Hawk Frost.
Okay.
Has claw rake attack, 60 damage. Belly slash, 80 damage. Special attack is Frost Claw, which does 100, but takes 2 river ups.
Yeah.
Is that like energy cards?
That's like energy cards. So that's why Wind Up is like wind cards. And the reason we had Kit, Paw, and the main is because there was something like evolution. So
sure.
So it's like different stages
first
and stuff.
Evolution.
So my idea was to turn this into actual cards, like a sample set of like actual trading cards, because you can actually make them and just print them. And like, yeah, I have the capabilities of doing it, and I've been wanting to do this for the past 6 months. I've wanted to do this for like years now. I just haven't, because I can't, 1, bring myself to the time to do it. 2, I know I'm gonna make a video out of it, but it'll be my first video of I made this. It needs to be like a story told video. It needs to have B-roll. It needs to have music. It needs to be very well edited. And I'm very scared of putting all this time into this thing and the video's gonna do bad. The only reason I haven't made this is because I know I want to make a video about it, and I'm afraid of the video doing bad. Quite literally the only reason. Otherwise, I probably would have made these by now. because I already know everything I want to do with it. Like I know it'd be so cool.
And
I
like
think I
think of
might
like
email
8-year-old you.
I might email Aaron Hunt. You're talking emotionally. I'm talking commercially. I might email Aaron Hunter and be like, "Hey, listen. So I made these things based on your books and how much I loved your books. Can I just send you some?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to share these with you
Yeah.
and see if they would let me, because I think that'd be cool."
So where's this book?
I don't have all of them. I only have, like, 2 of the ones from, like, the 3rd series. It's the ones with the cat panels on them.
This one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the one next to it is, like, a pictures of all the cats. The thin orange one. Yeah.
Something on top of it. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I need to see some of these. Also, adorable.
There's the book. I used to go through that all the time. If you look at the back, it tells you all the books that were out at the time
Oh
that this book
wow.
came out.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Tiger Star.
Looks badass.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a scar across his nose and everything.
Exactly.
This is a well-loved book. You took care of this, man.
Yeah. I don't like messing with my books. I'm not somebody who, like, breaks the spines or intentionally, like, dog ears things or, like, likes to show that their books have been used. If my books are used, they're used.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't
You're not
like to
intentionally trying to make that
break
happen.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Blue Star. Blue Star's cool. Yellow Fang. I mean, you want to talk this cat has seen some
this cat
stuff.
has character.
Yeah, I mean, there's some.
This guy has character.
He's
right
seen
there.
some stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, I missed this stage of life, but like anything Pokemon related, you're speaking to my.
Yeah.
You're speaking to me, my soul.
Yeah. So I have a whole step-by-step process of what I need to do to make these into, like, real life.
Okay, you make that happen.
I think I need to talk about it enough to finally be like, I've told so many people about it. You just have to do it.
Now
Otherwise, you're just a
pressure me.
liar. You're just a liar unless you do that.
I need it. I need it. I need you to reach out to Wayne McLaughlin too, so that they can do all illustrations.
Oh, honestly, what I was gonna do is, I'm not gonna lie to you. So there's a 2nd edition of book covers, like the ebook version of this. I might buy the actual ebook version of this, because what I was gonna do is go into Canva, make the silhouettes of, like, the cutouts of, like, the size that I want, because trading cards are different sizes, right?
Yeah.
I have 6 down there later, like, and that I need to, like, map out on a piece of paper to be like, which one do I actually want, the size I want to use? And then I have to make my own background designs. But because I'm not selling these, I'm just using them for my own purposes. I was just gonna go to the ebook version of this and just crop, screenshot out that and be like, put their image right here, because I have no artistic ability to do this either. That would also make it more, like, easier to do.
Sure.
But yes, I want to reach out to them, even the illustrator, be like, "Hey, listen,
I'm doing this.
I made this. I just want to share it with you. I think it's cool."
100 and how many? 100?
157. I'm not doing all 157 though. I think I'll do like 10, 20, like some odd, like,
Yeah, pick your favorites.
combination.
Yeah.
They used to have a website where you could go and take a test to get your clan name. So my surname was Hawk.
Okay, cool, badass.
My given name, or my last name essentially, was Fire. That was Hawkfire. It didn't roll off the tongue.
No,
I think it's pretty, but I think it still works.
If you ran into a guy who said, like, my call sign is Hawkfire, you wouldn't mess with that guy.
Or Hawkstar if I'm a leader. Hawkstar.
The Hawk 2.0 girl may have taken that one from you.
I'm so mad we went to the same place in our brains. I'm so mad we went to the same place in our brains. Oh God. Okay.
We have soiled Aaron Hunter's work.
Honestly, Aaron
Sorry.
Hunter, I'm sorry. I'm never gonna do this now.
Can't reach out to her now.
Okay. Now that we've had this really nice 25-minute warm up into the podcast, let's really talk about why we're here today, right? We're here to talk about Forsaken Forge. Okay, that's what we're here to talk about. Okay, Forsaken Forge. Whenever you're done, take your time. I'm just gonna be here. Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're still listening. Actually, by the way, I really do hope you're still listening, because this is the top 5 podcast experiences I've had ever. This is what I want more of, because we wouldn't have this. We would not have had this if this was virtual. Ever.
Nope.
We would have just, like, stuck on point. But now, okay, rating is back in. Guys, we're talking about books again. We've been talking about books, but we're talking about his book now, Forsaken Forge.
Okay.
You're running a Kickstarter for it. The
Yes.
Kickstarter is full 100% Kickstarter. It's like, it's going to be a really, really nice book. I'm actually, if you guys are listening on YouTube or Spotify, there should be video along with this. And if you're looking at the video, there should be a model of the book floating in between us around where my hand is right here. Essentially like that, because I made a model of the book in DaVinci, and so we're just gonna use that. And so it is very, very nice gold inlay. I think it's black or
So
blue.
black faux leather.
Okay.
Got blue and gold foiling.
Okay.
All the
The
interior
edges are sprayed as
artwork.
well.
Edges are going to be sprayed with the upgrade. If we
Yes.
reach certain goals, they'll be
Yes.
gilded.
Okay.
So they'll be like that metallic.
Right.
I have already have 7 pieces of art that could go as high as 10, depending on like 7 are done. So at its base, there will be 7. If we hit certain goals, it can be up to as many as 10. Yeah, I'm so excited for the people I got. Again, the people that I got to work with to bring this thing to fruition have made it so magical. But like the slipcase is going to be blue. So I have two designed, because I'm gonna let the backers vote.
Oh, interesting.
It can be a blue with gold foiling, or it can be a gold with blue foiling. And they both look sweet.
Yeah.
Because like it's just an inversion of the color systems.
Sure.
So it just is nice. Yeah. I'm the interior artwork, the chapter headers, even like the little page break things. There's been so many little intricacies that like just really, like, don't get me wrong, like I think my other books are but they're books.
Yes.
This is like
this is truly a special edition.
Yes, this is a special edition. This is
I
a
think
deluxe
that's what's
edition.
cool. It's not like, oh, we're just doing a few things to like make it a little bit nicer. Like, no, this is like a trophy essentially for your bookshelf, and it is the book, right? And you're doing this first.
Not only first, it'll be exclusive to Kickstarter.
Yeah.
For a year. Like, you can't get it on Audible. You can't get it on Amazon. You can't get it on Kindle. You can't get it on Kobo or Google or on Barnes & Noble. Like, it's only going to be available via the Kickstarter for the first full year.
Full year. Wow. So then tell us about the book. Like, what is Forsaken Forge about?
So we have a grieving father who must go on a quest to find the remains of the fallen gods, collect them, and bring them to the Forsaken Forge to rebuild the braid that connects the mortal and divine realm in order to save his son's soul. So about this world, the gods used to live amongst the mortals. They lived there. They were in the flesh. It wasn't like you didn't believe in the gods. They are, right? Well, they inexplicably die. And so when this happens, another kind of rises in their place. This is the Eternal Shah. This is on the back blurb cup, and I'm not giving you any spoilers. So the Eternal Shah has not aged a day since this fall of the gods. So this is the last monk who his family lineage goes back. They were the ones who supported these gods in their mission. And so we have the last monk of this old order at a period of time where the new order is pushing out the old, trying to wipe them from the face of the earth. So Iskander, our protagonist, is a Morshed at a Zircana. So a Morshed is so this is actually, ancient Persian and still alive today. Like a Morshed is a teacher, like, but it's not just like, because I think the martial arts element comes into play here, where, so if I say like, oh, it's like a sensei in a dojo, and that sensei to dojo is a Morshed to a Zircana, right? So you can follow that. But there is such a, it's not just the physical practice. It's like it's not just a spiritual practice. It is physical, spiritual, and communal. Like you have a burden of responsibility to serve your community. And you come here, you train, you like strength is for uplifting one another.
Right.
And so these teachings are being perverted by this new world order, this new age. So we have the single last monk who once stood for this old order being pushed out. So his son is like it begins like page 1. He's kneeling before his son's funeral pyre. The final flame that is meant to purify. So like you don't burn the body. You light a final flame before the body, and the purified smoke like cleanses the spirit and prepares it for the afterlife. Well, we learn that the braid between the mortal and divine realm has been broken. And if that's the case, his son's soul is trapped here. So now he has to find these remains of the fallen gods, collect them from the sultan's palaces. They're buried in the catacombs and subcloisters beneath the sultan's palaces, scattered across this empire that's divided by a miasma that has risen since the fall of the gods, in order to reconnect the braid and save his son's soul, because he's trapped.
Yeah. And is this all happening in book 1? Or is this the idea of the story?
This is the series concept.
Okay.
Book 1 is the first, gathering the firsts of the god souls, while trying to solve like what happened to my son. So there's like a murder mystery component.
So there's like a murder mystery combined with
like
not to trivialize it, but like a fetch quest or like a heist.
Yeah.
You have a sense of dungeon crawling to an extent, or catacombs crawling. You have your action, even from the first series, has been good. So you have a sense of a different type of combat action in here.
Certainly.
How was it combining all of that?
So here's the thing. So this is a single point of view in a first person perspective, whereas like all my other books to this point were multi POV. Like Vengeful Realm has 7 different perspectives, right? So for me, combining all these things, this was nothing. And like, because the series, like this stands on its own, right? You don't need the context of these books, but there is a lot of context from those books for me in the creation of it.
I see.
So readers, like a careful reader would pick up on subtle details of like, this is a reference to something in one of those books. This is a reference to something in one of those books. But it's not necessary. You know, like you don't need that context to enjoy the story. They're just little Easter eggs.
My good friend, I'm gonna let you know right now. We were in a book club together for this book that my hand is resting on right now. It's called Ghosts of Rania. I will not be picking up on those subtle Easter eggs until somebody tells me. I will not be able to pick up on those. So when I read this book, and if you're like, oh, did you find that little secret hidden door? Did you hit it with a sword like in Dark Souls when you were reading it? And I'm gonna be like, no, I did not.
I think these things are subtle. They're very subtle to someone who hasn't read.
I see.
I think for people who have read, they're pretty obvious.
Blatant. Okay.
And like, put it this way. So my editors, so I have a developmental editor and my copy editor. And when I like literally in the same points, at the same points, both of them, 2 different documents, left the same comments, verbatim, haha, see what you did there.
I see.
Both of them said the same exact thing. So like, now granted, they're editors.
Yeah.
So like, it's their jobs. but at the same time, like they're subtle enough that it's a line. If you're, it's not like I'm going to bring you on a whole different adventure that you're not going to understand the context of. It's like there's a line that harkens back here and there throughout the story to connect those dots.
Your Eventful Realm series, I think we've talked about this in the past, and maybe we talked about it last time, but you put a lot of actual life lessons, concepts, and themes into these books.
Yeah.
So are you able to maybe talk about a few of the themes that you're putting into New Forsaken Forge series that maybe weren't in the previous ones?
So much. Yeah, wow. So, okay, a couple things. I'm gonna have to, do what your clients do and go backwards. And I'm gonna lore build.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
So, everything I've written so far, every time has been something that A, I've experienced, B, I'm experiencing, or C, I will experience.
Okay.
Which is terrible.
Okay.
Some of it is horrible.
Fair.
So in the context of like Ghosts of Rainier, for example, I wrote this story about a dark world, about familial estrangement, about a world in which things cannot die and therefore suffer eternally in this mortal plane of existence, right? So a lot of the themes are dealing with death and grief, estrangement, abandonment, all of these kinds of things. I wrote this and then my mom passed away.
Right.
And then I was like, oh my God. And like dealing with all these emotional things.
I wrote that book, man. I'll just go back and read the manual that I wrote, see if I can get through this like Drawkus did. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. So that was a thing. So like where A Vengeful Realm definitely deals with like there's, a father-son element. We see that between like Layden and Varos, for example. There's a mother-son standpoint. We see that from the mother's perspective with Daenela, and we see that from the son's perspective with Layden and
continue.
His mother Lenara. We see relational tensions, actually romantic relationships, friend to friend, sibling to sibling. We get to see all sorts of stuff in this series. So this one has an older protagonist though. So like Iskander is like in his 40s. This is a man who has earned and learned his keep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so in this story, we are with a man who has he is carrying on the belief in gods that we know lived and we know died. And yet he still stands by their teachings, not saying like, oh, we still believe in them, they're coming back, in that it's more of what they brought us, what they taught us is still worth living by.
Yeah.
And it's very fundamental. It's just like do good, do right for all.
Yeah.
It can be surmised in that. So as the Morshed of this Arcana, everything is about like, take care of the orphan, take care of the sick, the aged, be kind to your neighbor. Like everything is community driven. And I think now more than ever in our world, we're seeing like this push and pull of what does it mean to live out that kind of experience?
Yeah.
What does it mean to actually care for the people in your community? And we have a government that, the Eternal Shah, who this new world order that's kind of like religiously embodied and governmentally stabilized with militarized power. And with all this power and control, the narrative over what hope should look like is curated. And so when you have that kind of curated life experience, you don't want an outlier of an old way standing in the way.
Fair.
And so what does it mean to stick to your convictions when the whole world's changing? What does it mean to, like, this is a story in which a man who has, once again, earned and learned his keep is challenged on, did I live it right? Did I go about it the right way? And this is someone who, again, from page 1, his son is dead. And how much did his actions have to do with that? So when you're asking yourself, did I do it right? And this is the outcome. So it's a constantly, like, this story is very much an affirming story in that the world, we have a very dark world. We have a world teetering towards tyranny, and the last hope, the last light, is trying to be snuffed out. And so is it worth burning? Is it worth shining that light when everyone and everything around you is telling you your time has passed? So, like, seeing that perspective from someone who's older, someone who's established, in fiction, we see a lot of, young protagonists. We see this coming of age. We see this coming into their own.
Right.
And so this is a story that's very much like, no, I have lived and I have loved and I have lost and lost and lost. And so did I do it right? Am I still doing it right? Can I change? And how should I change? I think those kinds of elements, like, it's so much more like the conflict and the themes are so much more personal, whereas in all of these books, it's so much more relational.
I see.
Now there's still, like, the plucky cast, right? So, like, if we listen to my audiobook narrator, Landon Solberg, who is such a supreme talent, like, I'm so excited for how the audiobook's coming along. But he's like, and like, if you'll recall some of the lives we've done on TikTok, and I'm like, I don't need banter. I don't want banter in my books. He's like, dude, you've had A plus banter in this book. And I'm like, oh no, people are going to make me eat my words.
No, Arish was right. Oh no, Arish is going to like this section
Tia
of the book.
And
no.
Like, dude, do you remember how Tia was on me?
Yes.
And now I'm like, oh, look at my banter.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
I'm
banter isn't a thing, guys. Like, if you have, like, banter, what is our one live we did was literally, what is banter? Like, it wasn't even like, what good banter, bad. What is
it?
What is banter? What does banter mean? Is really what it was. And so that's exciting. I'm gonna tell everybody right now, as tight as Tim and I are, I've told him I'm not reading anything advanced of this book. Like, when I get the book in my hand is when I'm gonna read it. There are, he has offered first chapter, early stuff, like, all, and I'm in the Discord, so I see, like, here's what I'm working on. Here's like a paragraph. Here's a snippet. I have blinded myself to it all. I was talking to somebody because I was, I've been posting about the Kickstarter every week, and one dude reached out. He was like, "Yeah, I'm super excited for it." I said, are you following the Kickstarter?" He's like, "Yeah." Tim also sent me like 3 chapters. I think it was like Matt Mitchell or somebody.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Okay, that's cool." In my head, I was like, "I will read none of it." No, and nobody, and luckily, I think our friends know me well enough. They don't talk to me about it. Nobody talks to me about it because everybody knows Arish likes just to go in blind, fresh,
deaf, and dumb.
truly. And I will learn how to speak, hear, and see when I read the book, which is what I'm really excited for. That's the experience that I'm excited for. This sounds like not a heavier book than the rest of your other books. It just seems like it's a continuation of what you do. Really, like, with how you challenge, with how you theme, how you portray characters, and how you, like, run a world, build a world. This seems like a continuation of what, if you have read these books, what you have already enjoyed. It is simply, to your point, one point of view. It is a different culture also,
Certainly.
right? So it's like, guys listening at home, this dude went out and researched the culture All right, and I don't say this like I don't say he like Wikipedia'd it and shit like that. Like he researched the culture. Big man bought equipment to train.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would read that the artist of this time would train in order to understand the biomechanics of how am I how am I gonna act this out? How am I gonna write this down? Like, should they be able to swing this massive meal club at lightning speed? Maybe not, but they can two-hand swing that
Yeah.
shit real hard. Um, how was that process of, like,
So
involving yourself in the culture or reading about the culture?
so okay, it was multi-tiered, right? So I like grounding my stories somewhere in history, right? So A
Mhm.
Vengeful Realm is very much like, okay, Spartacus's rebellion, but put it in
Yeah.
like after a colonization type of
Mhm.
thing, an imperialized era. So um, this was very much like, okay, I want to do something ancient Persian Empire inspired, specifically the Achaemenid era, and specifically I wanted to, because like I've been, my day job as a trainer,
Mhm.
personal trainer. Um, like I've been training with steel maces and steel clubs for years, club bells for years now. And I've always been like, so tertiarily connected to like, I know the origins of this, right?
Mhm.
Um, but that was really the extent. So and like it's a very Americanized way, but this is like an ancient art. So I was like, okay, if I want to write a character, that if I want to write in a world based off of this, and I want to write a character that has the experience of a Morshed in a Zircana, what does this start to not only look like but feel like? Not only how am I going to write it, but what is the mindset that this person would have?
Mhm.
Um, so in trying to do research though, it's really hard to find non-Western versions, non-Western viewpoints, non-Western biases of anything of the Achaemenid era.
Yeah.
So like I was having trouble finding like good quality sources. And there were a few, like I had some history books that like would compare and contrast. Like here's what the Greeks wrote about the Persians, here's what the Persians wrote about the Greeks. But we have a lot more Greek literature
Mhm.
than we do Persian literature
Yeah.
on the Persians.
Yeah.
So that was like really tricky. So then there is um so I follow him on Instagram, and he trains Palavani arts.
Mhm.
It like Persian yoga is his company, and he has like online courses, and so I reached out to him and was like, hey, listen, I'm writing this book, and he's based in Dubai, um, and I was like, I'm writing this book. I'm trying to immerse myself as much as I can. I want a historical context. I want a cultural context. I don't just want to like do the movements. Like I can do the movements. I can
Mhm.
figure it out. I can look. I can watch. I can read. I can figure it out.
Yeah.
But this is the stuff that I want.
Mhm.
Can you help me out? And he was like, never had this request before, but yeah, absolutely. That's really cool. So, um, he got me set up. I got like I ordered meals from Iran. These are like beautiful single, like I've shown you before,
Mhm.
like it's single block of wood that's
Yeah.
like carved and oiled and treated, and I got them. I got a Shinna board, which is like a push-up board, that like is more of a mod, or they probably didn't use it back then, but it's more of a modernized approach to like a progression, if you will, that you'll find in Zorkanas now. And um, so like getting to go through this guy's course, getting to learn like this is what these guys trained like.
Mhm.
This is how these guys approached this. This is what they thought about while they were doing it. Um, Here's how they served. Here's how the programming was structured
Mhm.
to mirror war making. So um like each phase of the training protocol is based on like a different aspect of like war. So for example, like the meals are like, it's, you know, this circumduction of the shoulders and circular strength training. It's really about wielding, you know, shamshers and axes and maces and that sort of thing. But then there's stuff like the Poseidon, which is, it's like literally translates to the chase. So it's like if you're charging in, or like an enemy's retreating and you're charging after them. Then there's the song training, which is like a, you know, directly translates to stone, but it's a big ass wooden shield.
Yeah.
And like what would probably be closest to like, you know, a bench press type thing is like, but it's multi-directional and there's, it's incredible. It's so cool. Like, and this was like such a marriage of the two nerds in me, of like the fitness nerd and like a history buff, and then mix that into like building out this like adding that to the context of this fantasy world that I've made it, to again ground it in reality. So it was so immersive for me, and nothing else. Like I didn't get to do anything like this with A Vengeful Realm. So I felt such a and I did all this before I started writing.
Right.
So like I have a very involved planning process and plotting process. So like I learned Iskander while I was training. So like in the beginning of each chapter, there's it's not an epigraph because it's like directly in line with the text, but it's like a Palavani principle. So like think about it like a proverb, or it's just a little bit of wisdom. It's like a 1 to 2 sentence like short quip. And they're meant to be mantras, intentions, like things that are not just about training, but they can have double meanings. Like this could be applied to this area of your life, that area of your life. So I wanted to write from a place of a character with this kind of wisdom, with this kind of life experience, with this kind of emotional intelligence. Whereas like, I feel like, okay, Ghost of Rainia, no one has emotional intelligence, and that's the whole problem,
that's
right?
The whole point. Yeah.
And so like, it is a call for like, hey, you know, like to the reader, like, are you having trouble with the relationships in your life? Stop doing these problems. Stop doing this. Cause like, you know, people reach out to me and be like, yeah, man, like I have a friend like that, or I have a sibling like that, or I have like my relationship. And it's
First
like,
of all, let's just talk about how interesting it is that people actually withhold bring forward that information in general.
like divulge that.
Yes, divulge that information. Like, hey, read your book. I'm also suffering with depression. Hello, hi, nice to meet you. First of all,
Yeah.
now let's talk about it or something like that. But I'm very interested to see the reception of this book.
Me too.
Yeah.
Every author. Me
Every
too.
author, me too. But because I don't know. I'm just so curious. I want to fast forward a year so that I can just see how this like stuff unfolds really. And I know that, you know, patience is virtue bullshit, but I just really want to see what people think about this. You know, I don't think I will dislike it at all, but I'm also curious, what do I think about it, right?
Yeah.
This book hits closer to home of my culture,
Sure.
but I don't know that much about my culture either. So like whatever you say, I'll be like, that sounds cool. That sounds awesome. But I'm very curious about how it would go. What do you have planned for like this series? Is it 3 books, 4 books?
So it is a 4-book series.
Okay.
There are four fallen gods.
Okay.
So each
We're
one,
trying to do
there's
a book per. Okay.
like
It's
a
very
heist
clear
per
mission,
book.
very clear goal.
Yep.
Not episodic, but like mission driven.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like the overarching, so like as we'll see from, so a lot of the imagery is Iskander, our protagonist, the last Cavalli monk. He's labeled, he's branded with a black sun tattoo, basically saying the only light you will ever provide others casts them in shadows. Like you are good for nothing. Nothing grows under you. So this symbol of the black sun, over the course of the 4 books, starts to grow. It starts to become more and mean more.
I legit thought you meant like it starts to grow on his body, and I'm like, what is happening
What
here?
do you mean?
What kind of magic are the fallen gods giving him?
No. There's plenty of that, but not like that. No. But like the image of the black sun, like what it means, like other people start, marking themselves, branding themselves. So we start to see,
cool.
like what one torch does to another. But we have 4 books, to claim each of the remains of the fallen gods, to rebuild the forge, to reconnect the mortal and divine realm. So, this is I have plotted out the whole series. I know exactly how it ends, which I love.
Yeah.
So
I can see your eyes twinkling as you said that. It's not the light right there. Your eyes are actually just like they're sparkling because he's like, I can't wait for the torture I'm going to provide you guys, and the emotional imbalances I'm going to provide you guys, and all the torment I'm going to provide you guys. And I can hear our friends in Discord. I can hear Messi and Trina being like, Tim, you fucking bitch. What the fuck, Tim? People already do that now. But like I'm sure what the fuck, Tim has been a consistent.
I've heard it my whole life.
I brought that to the book actually. That's what I'm hoping for coming out of this book. What the fuck, Tim?
This is what I've had to live with myself the whole time.
Right.
So now, now you gotta live with me.
Exactly. Nice.
But yeah, this book, this series. So we have a 4-book series, all following Iskander. I do plan to, so in book 2, 2 of the characters that are very prevalent in book 1 will have POVs as well. They'll be more minor, and then they'll build as the series goes on.
I see.
But they're characters that we already know and love.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Or if you don't love them, well, tough.
You will be forced to love them. I did want to pause right there and say I really want to say you're the only person who's ever done this, I think. And I really appreciate this, that in your books, when you have multiple POVs, you put Zephyrus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So by the end of the book, you could go to all the chapters at the end of the book, and you will see this is the 14th Zephyrus POV chapter, or the 15th Thraina chapter, or the 6th Layden chapter, things like that, right? And I really like that, because that a lot of the times that does occur in my brain. How many times have we been with this person? How many times? And excuse me, I find that very interesting. I find that I like that you did that. I hope that you will continue it. Awesome.
I will say, when I was first writing book 1, I was told, you don't need that.
Yeah.
It's too much.
You don't need it. But you know what?
I want it.
People also don't need book recaps in the beginning of future and beginning of sequel books. But you know how many people love having that? So many people. Everyone loves that.
Who doesn't not need that?
The same people who say prologues and epilogues aren't necessary and don't read them. Those are the people who don't do that, who don't like that.
So this book has a lot of front matter. So all the stuff in the book before the book starts. And not that you have to read, there's a glossary, because for, I include some Roman terms in A Vengeful Realm, but they're few and far between, and the context is enough. And but I feel like there's just so many more, because for the most part, this is going to be read by a Western audience who's going to look at these things and think, this is all fantasy words. He made up these words.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are not made up. Some of a meal, a song, a kabada, a gaud. You're going to be like, I don't know what these words mean. But to me, they're just words now.
Yeah.
Because I've learned what they are.
Yeah.
A song is a shield. A kabada is kind of like this iron. It's meant to be like an iron bow, to train the muscles of the upper body, in a circular way to mimic archery. And a goud is the clay or sand pit in the bottom of a zircona. All of these, that
You're fine. You're fine. The chair itself does just lean back a little bit more, but you're fine. This one won't fall. If it
That
does, it'll
would
be
be
content.
funny.
If it does, it'll be content. I'll just move my laptop out of the way and it'll be fine. Talking about not breaking my books, right?
Yeah, right. Well, we don't break spines. We just break
We just break the
bookshelves.
entire bookshelf. Is actually what we do.
So like I wanted to put a glossary in at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
This book also, like, the magic system has is based off of. I say magic system. I'm using that loosely. But it's based off of, like, the chakra systems.
Mm-hmm.
And they're called Ashahai cores. So they go at the different levels of the body, and there's like a physical embodiment to spiritual understanding and energy, very similarly to the chakras. But I wanted to have, like, again, most of the people in Western culture don't understand what this is. So I'm like, this is what this is.
Yep.
Here it is. And here's a way of understanding it. And there's also Tajin cards, and the Tajin are very similar to tarot.
Yeah.
And so, like, how these things are interpreted and the way in which they're read is very contextual. And so, like, it's like a recurring thing throughout the series of how different people interpret different things, and how it almost foreshadows what can and will happen in the book based on whose interpretation.
I see.
Which was really fun to write and create. Really fun. Really fun. So, like, I loved how all these things came together. So all of this is in the front matter of the book. And then, yes, you better believe there will be a recap, a book 1 recap in book 2. There will be a book 1 and 2 recap in book 3. Right. There will be a book 1, 2, and 3 recap in book 4.
Yeah.
Why? Because why not? I already wrote the book. The least I could do is give you a 2-page summary of each one.
Right. Because, sometimes you just want to go and look at, like, what did happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to go read the entire book.
Give me the high points.
Like, just overall, what are we working with going into this book, right? That's what I like to see, and I appreciate that. One thing you had said about, obviously using language in this book that came from the culture, their actual words used in their language and their living and their culture. When I was reading Ironbound, right here, right, and it's Roman inspired, so he uses a good amount of, like, Latin and Greek words or whatever it is, and what he'll do is he'll bold them to let you know, like, this is a non-English native word or whatever it is, right? And I don't know if I like that or not. I think it was fine reading it, but there was a part of me that I was like, if he just didn't, I would have just taken it with, like, the book. But every time a bold word comes up, I'm supposed to know this word is different. I'm supposed to know this word is different. And I know sometimes authors will do that when they italicize certain, like, words in the book that are, like, have, like, their own meaning or their own significance. And that I can kind of get behind. But then bolding it, I was like, I feel like you're just
It feels like a textbook at that point.
that, or, like, okay, you're telling me this is supposed to be different.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, me figuring it out, me being okay with it, etc. That was the first thing. The second thing is, I don't think you've read this book, but there's this book up there. It's called Panacea.
We've talked about it. I haven't read it.
The way you described Iskander at the beginning of the book and, like, kind of the motivations, really, I think you may want to read this one. It's Greek mythology inspired, but it really sounds like similar or like just similar themes to that. It is also like a war veteran who thought he was finally going to retire, and he gets pulled back into the war. It is a son who is trying to prove himself to be as good as his father, who is the war veteran who has been the commander this entire time. It is also gods who used to walk the earth, the Greek gods, and now they've gone to their palace, Olympus, and this guy's like, "Bring my fucking son back. I'm gonna hunt you guys down." So he has his own, like, story and issues with losing a child or whatever it is. And so I found all those themes very interesting, marital strife, all that kind of stuff in this book as well. So you might actually, I think you would at minimum, appreciate the themes it's saying, even if you didn't appreciate, like, the whole book, given that I think Greek mythology is a bit overdone, but I loved this one.
Sure.
I do think the book gets better in book 1 to 2, 2 to 3 also. I think
Okay.
the stakes do go up, and it just gets better in my opinion.
I mean,
But when you were saying that, my brain immediately went to Panacea. So I think it
I
could
like,
be worth
yeah.
putting your eyes on it and seeing, like, how is this? Like, how is this? Because going into your book, and if I see similar themes, I'm like, "That's kinda cool. I kinda like that," you know?
Yeah.
He tried to do a Sword of Kaigen thing,
Mm,
but he didn't by the end of the book 1,
when you
which I
say
was
a sort of Kaigen thing, because you know how I feel about sort of
uh,
Kaigen. What do you mean by a sort of Kaigen
the
thing?
50% point mark.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yes.
okay, okay.
And that shit, I read that and I was like, "You motherfucker." And it wasn't even 50%, this time, it was like 25%, I think.
Mm,
Um, but it it wasn't like a co it but unlike Sword of Kaigen, it was on a complete tone shift change or whatever it is, right? It's like a whole series, same tone, really good. I think I read it in, like, 2024, but it was pretty good.
okay.
And this guy is just like he's like a normal indie author. I've never heard of this guy, I just saw him on Twitter. And I saw book 2, which just looks awesome. The colors of the blue and the colors of book 2 up there, and I'll show it to you after we're
Yeah,
done
yeah,
with this.
yeah.
It just looks so electric blue on the book cover. That's the only reason I read book 1 was to get to book 2,
So you
but then
could have book
so
two.
I could just, like, have it. And the funny thing is, like, I read these on ebook, and then I bought the physical copies
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they were
yeah.
just that good. And so that one's also, like, I think that's a good one. Forsaken Forge, guys. Forsaken Forge. I think in the year or between now and when it releases,
Mhm,
when it actually comes out, here's what I think people should do. In my humble opinion, I think they should go to the Kickstarter.
mhm.
It's in the description right now.
Yep.
They should at least, if this is the day before it comes out, follow it. If this is the day it comes out, you should go to the Kickstarter and back it if it tickles your fancy.
I mean, the cool thing is, like, I wanted this to be because, like, okay, for audiobook readers, listeners, if you don't like the narrator, you're not gonna like the piece.
Mhm.
Period. You can't suffer through it.
Mhm.
I get that. So I put in an audiobook sample.
Yeah.
Some people, they want to read it. They want to make sure like it looks good.
Yeah.
Or like you like the voice, the tenor, the
Yeah.
tone. So there's a chapter sample in the Kickstarter page. Like,
Yeah, so you have the option to sample and or listen to the book before you even back it.
yep.
And I think that's actually really good, and that is a point that I have not made on my videos yet, which means I will be making that point on my videos going forward, talking about the Kickstarter. The other thing I was gonna say is if you have a year until this one thing, like, goes away,
Hmm.
that is good enough time for you to pick up book 1 of A Vengeful Realm and just see, do I fuck with this guy's writing? Maybe one chapter on that thing wasn't enough, but do I fuck with this guy's writing in a full book, right? And if you do, then I think getting the special edition, deluxe edition is a no-brainer. I don't have, I don't do trophies like that on my bookshelf. It's I just don't want to. But this is I want to on this one. I think it's gonna be fire. I think it's gonna be fire. And so I'm excited for this. You're excited for
I'm
this.
excited for this.
Whoever's watching this is now excited for this, and they know more about the book. They know more about the book, more about you, more about motivations. Guys, that is Forsaken Forge. Kickstarter launches hopefully today. I think I'm just
Tuesday,
I
March 3rd,
or it
just go
launches
back it.
Tuesday, March 3rd. Just know that, okay? It launches Tuesday, March 3rd. Last year, when you came on the podcast,
Mhm.
we had a pretty deep conversation. I do wanna tell people to go back and listen to that one because we got deep. And
Yeah.
you and I like to talk about these topics, and I appreciated the conversation we had then. It was very meaningful. And I wanted to ask you, we had a interesting conversation around the topic of success.
Hmm.
So, what would, in your opinion, success feel or look like in regards to
This book,
this book,
this.
this Kickstarter?
So I have, um, I have my plans for this book, this series.
Mhm.
But also like, so I do author coaching,
Yeah.
as you know, right? So, what I'm hoping is to create a a system, a systematized thing. So like the authors that I coach, that I edit for, that they have a blueprint to follow of like, okay, my book is done. Like I've elevated my craft. I've worked through all of the steps in my writing craft, story craft. I'm ready to publish. And then now what? And there's already a pathway. So what success would look like for me is, like the Forsaken Forge is like, there's a lot of, Iskander on the cover of the standard edition book is carrying a lantern. And that lantern is from the final flame of his son's funeral pyre. And it's, it's symbolic in a way.
Is that Ghost his son?
Yes. 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 Oh no. Oh no. Spoilers.
I'm gonna bleep that.
So, when we have this, like it's literally like this candle, this torch it's meant to be spread. One candle can light a lot of torches.
Yeah.
And so what success would look like for me is laying the groundwork and the path for other people who want to, who have invested in themselves, who have invested in their writing and their stories, who have stories that, in my estimation, bring light to a dark world. So these, like the writers I work with, the writers I want to help publish, they have stories that are significant enough to me that I want to give them the pathway. I want to light the way for them so that they can follow those footsteps, and not have to trudge up the Sisyphean mountains that I've felt I've had to endure. And like how many questions, and like it's the blind leading the blind, and like I don't want that to be the case for my writers, and so I think success would look like that for me. Like I don't have a dollar amount. I don't have a sales number amount. I don't have a number of awards or like those things. Like creatively, I'm very proud of this piece. It means a lot to me for a lot of different reasons. It was like on a writing craft, like this was like I challenged myself. I wanted this this poetic warrior. So like as you were talking about Panacea, like this is a war veteran. Like Iskander is a teacher. He's like almost a warrior priest who has never fought a war.
Yeah.
Has never killed. And so that mentality is like, Zephyrus is throwing down. Like in chapter 1, he's like, ah! So like I wanted something that, this person places such value on life, even for his enemies, and trains to be so good that he can still respect his enemy. There's a line like, we train to teach people lessons on this side of the braid for while they live here, not after they go to the afterlife.
Yeah.
Because like that kind of characters who has a mindset like that, like to write from that perspective, I have to immerse myself enough in that to believe that. And I don't think I could have done that without A Vengeful Realm, because A Vengeful Realm, obviously, based on the title, is, it's not about vengeance.
Yeah.
And so I think this story has like a lot of like, it takes a lot of steps from A Vengeful Realm in that sense. The writing we've talked, like it's a little more prose heavy in that regard. It's a little more internal. A lot of the conflict is like less, person to person and more person to self. There's still plenty of person to person. There's still like, I love my action scenes. I love my combat scenes, which was interesting because like the Kashti wrestling, which is like a big part of this, like there's like a big tournament. Like I had to learn so much about wrestling to be able to write these scenes. And it was like, so there were a lot of things that challenged me as a writer. There were a lot of things that challenged me as a person. There were a lot of things, again, from a prophetic standpoint, similar to Ghosts of Rania. It's like things I will have to deal with. This book gave me things that I have to be, let's put it this way, I have to be really careful what I write in my next book because I keep giving my, like, here's what I'm about to go through.
You're prophesizing your own.
I need to write happier books, man.
Yeah, we got to get you on that progression fantasy next because we need your life to progress.
Yeah, right.
Also.
Oh my god,
like, we need your life to level up. We need your life. We need your life to have some stuff like that because that is insane.
It's so because of that. This story, this process of writing this story, from a creative standpoint, a personal standpoint, a educational standpoint, a relational standpoint, me with others, all of those things, this book holds a very significant place, and in all of those ways, it is already a success, regardless of what it does. But what success materially would look like is I can look back and say, I can look in the, a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, I can look back and say, this is where the process for others really began because I gave them a pathway to follow. Yeah. And that would be what success looks like. And I think that's the first time I've been able to.
You're the first time to articulate a concrete vision of success.
Of what success would look like.
Yeah.
That feels good. Yeah.
Let's go. I love doing this in person, bro. We wouldn't be able to have that moment in person. I couldn't have been able to fist bump you like that in person. Oh, if we were doing this over a call. That sounds cool. I like that. I like that in the past year, just from our conversation a year ago to now, there's been so much growth. I think it's come from the book. I think it's come from the research around the book. I think it's come from those seeds that you were talking about at the beginning of like the unexpected fruit from the seeds you planted. I think some plants may have gotten cut down on the way, but
there's certainly a pruning process.
Definitely, but I think pruning itself is supposed to be a positive thing for plants and bushes and trees.
Addition by subtraction.
Addition by subtraction. Yeah. By the way, we haven't talked about this yet much, but there are some Fablewear designs that are associated with this series that have not really been shown yet, but they're there. There may be there actually, depending on if you guys love the Kickstarter enough, you guys might get some awesome stuff as well. So I'm just putting that out there that there is really, really cool stuff involved with the Kickstarter that's on top of just the book, on top of just the deluxe edition, right? Like there's so much more that goes into this. I think that's you think of Kickstarters as like, I'm just putting this up here, hopefully people fund it and like we'll make something, right? But I feel like there's a lot of weight associated with this one.
Well, so I'll put it this way. Okay, when I launched Ghosts of Rania, right? I launched it on Amazon. I did a free ebook giveaway, which I've done for all 4 of these books. And like opening weekend, I had 3,000 downloads of Ghosts of Rania. And how many people did we have in our book club? 6.
Yeah, 7 max.
So to me, Amazon doesn't give you any data. I don't know who my readers are. My readers don't know who I am. And there's no means of contact. And so why Kickstarter? For me, yeah, it's cool to be able to make a pretty book, to make a special book. Don't get me wrong. Getting to work with the artists, like that's been really cool. But notice that I was doing that on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I already fronted that.
Yeah.
So the big thing now is like, to do this though, like these books are printed overseas. They don't do these kinds of books in the States. Anywhere. It's not like, oh, well, you're choosing to do it cheaper. No, they don't do it here.
Mm-hmm.
You're either getting it from the UK, you're getting it from China, or I think there's a couple other places in Europe, but like
Mm-hmm.
those are your options.
Yeah.
For these like, these features that are on a grand scale. So to be able to do this, like, yes, there's like a financial upfront cost to be able to like get a print run to make these books special, as opposed to like these are, print on demand. But the big reason like why I want to do this is because like, we have other things like the book club, right? When I'm doing this exclusive on Kickstarter, via Kickstarter, I get to know who my backers are, where they like clicked from. Like if I have like, like can give like referral links and whatnot, I can know who people are, where they come from, what they want. They can reach out to me directly. They can comment on things directly. Like they can vote on, I want this slipcase versus that slipcase. Like when like certain stretch goals, it's like, okay, I'm going to get new art. Here are the options. You pick the new art. Like, okay, we have these stickers right now. Want to design another one? You pick the next one. Like that type of community engagement before the book is made. I think that there's something just so cool about that collaborative element. Like I do love the creative control of indie authorhood. I have like a lot of people have a lot of beta readers, have a lot of like this, that, and the other thing. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I've talked about how like writing can be really lonely because I want it to come from me. I want my whole heart, soul, and even body in this one, to like blood, sweat, tears into the pages of what makes this up chemically. What is this made of? It's made of me. So, with all that goes into it, it shouldn't be so impersonal in terms of how it's read.
I see.
And the mainstream, the Amazon type stuff, like, don't get me wrong, it will end up on Amazon at some point, but like I wanted to create like a community component of like, okay, even just like listening to you talk about books before this book, you didn't talk about books the same way.
I didn't. That's so true. That's a really good point, because that's what I wanted to talk about next is after like reading your first 3 books, I think there was definitely stuff that I did not pick up on because I just did not look for those things in books, right? I looked for things that were on page, but I didn't look for things underneath the page and between the lines. And then reading Ghosts of Raina chapter by chapter and then talking with you guys about it and seeing, oh, this is what this meant. This is what this could have meant. Even even I started to bring out, did this mean this? I noticed I thought about it like this way. Somebody else thought about it a different way. And then from then on, so this is beginning of 2025.
Yeah, January 2025.
And so over in the past year, this was probably one of those like canon events where like it changed the way I read books. Not so drastically to where I'm like, every book must have a hidden meaning.
Yeah.
Every word must have 3 layers to it. I must go right to the core of the onion, all that stuff, right? But I have begun to see, depending on the book that I'm reading, here's this other layer. Here's this other layer. If I choose to want it, it is there.
Yeah.
We were talking about a book that I read before recording, right? And the issue that I had with it was, this is a book where it starts off and it just starts, right? There's really no setup, but it
Yeah.
just starts. And some books do that. They just start.
Yeah. drop you right
but
in.
at some point, you either get a point to slow down, a point for you to catch up with the characters or things like that, but this book just started and then went to the end. And at no point in time did I ever feel like, "You have made me care about the world, you have made me care about the plot, you have made me care about the characters. I don't care that he did this, she did that, he saw this, she did that." By the end of the book, I'm like, "That happened."
Yep.
Right? But I think before, to your point, before reading Ghost of Rain or, like, with the books that I read before, and even when I was um, starting to make videos and content, things like that, most books, I couldn't articulate that
Yeah.
immediately after reading the book. I would either have to, like, think about it a lot, or I had to or it would only be with books that I've reread so many times, like Ranger's Apprentice, that I could tell you back and forth, like, how I feel about that book, every single book, how it goes, right? But reading a book just once and being able to articulate, "This is why I liked this is why I didn't like that, this is what worked for me, this is why it didn't work for me. I noticed this thing." Was similar thing with Strength of the Few when we
Yeah.
talked about that, like, being able to articulate that. And also, I used to be very snobbish and isolated with my thoughts about my books.
Mm.
I would never read anybody else's reviews. I would never read anybody else's, videos or thoughts on books or whatever it is, because for some reason I thought if they say something about a book that I like and it makes me like it less, that makes me upset, and I don't wanna like this book less, therefore I will not look at anybody else's thoughts on it. Or, somebody else noticed something that I didn't notice, therefore I'm dumb, and I
Mm.
didn't notice that thing in
Mm.
that book. And so a lot of times I would never read information, like other things about books, and this process has gotten me to not to necessarily think like, "Hey, let me go I just finished Strength of the Few, let me go watch every other Strength of the Few review
Ain't
online."
nobody got time for that.
But with the people whose opinions that I trust, like Andy and
Mhm.
my cousin who both read it, we'll chat about it.
And you get to
And
have,
I get
like, a
to have like a,
deeper
"Oh, you're right.
conversation.
Oh, this is a good point. I did like this, and I still do like it, but that is a good point. You're right. It wasn't good." Or that, I see that you liked that. I didn't.
Mm.
And being okay with differing viewpoints, differing opinions on things, something I was never like okay with. I didn't want to expose myself to that discomfort, therefore I
Yeah.
wouldn't. But your books forced me to feel uncomfortable. Your books forced me to feel some type of fucking way, and now I'm here. And now we're here,
Mhm.
right? And so that's what I like about your books. And I think when I think about the books on this shelf, right, a lot of them are fun.
Mhm.
They're fun rides, really, is what is because I find reading books to be enjoyable,
Yeah.
and I find engagement in fun. I don't find engagement in emotional, like, destruction. And I
Sure.
say it like that is because one of my high school long time, like, high school friends, I visited her earlier in February, and she's a reader just like I am, and so she likes books. We were talking about this. She likes books that destroy her emotionally and make her a fucking mess and things like that, you know, and I don't.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I'm not gonna read Babel. She fucking loved reading Babel and things like that, right? So, that's where we differ.
Yeah.
And so there's very selective books that I'll read that make me feel like that, you know? Your books are very epic, very deep. Will of the Many, first book, is very epic, very layered. Book
Yeah.
2 is as well, but it's eh.
Didn't land for you.
Didn't fully land, like, the
Yeah.
legs were wobbling when they jumped off uh, the, uh,
The high
the
dive?
high dive
Oh,
or
no.
well, not the I was thinking of gymnastics terms, I could
Oh, the
the
vault. The
pommel
vault. Oh,
the
okay.
pommel horse of the vault, like, they just legs were a little bit wobbly, but it kinda stuck the landing.
Sure.
Hands went up,
Yeah.
wrist flicked down. Um, a little bit lighter Andrea Stewart's Bone Shards series, right? Like, there's layers in this that I could tease out. It wasn't explicit, and
Yeah.
this book wasn't presented like, "Oh, this is a very deep book about deep themes,"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but when I read the end of this book, I'm like, I see the story there,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel a certain way, and then I cry. And then, the books that these are actually Rosario Munda's, Fireborn series.
Mm-mm.
Similar things where there's, like, some real themes in here, and by the end of the book, I cry at the main character. And so your book didn't make me cry, by the way, just so you know.
I
Didn't make me cry.
do recall in the In the book
No, you
club,
don't.
you did say,
No,
and
you
I just
don't.
walled myself off emotionally and skimmed past the.
That is so true. That is so true.
I do remember that.
I do that. And then Jordan and Messi were like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
See, to me, that is worth more than tears.
Yes.
Because I'm challenging you.
Yeah.
That made
You
you
are
feel
forcing
something.
me to
Yeah.
emotionally manipulate myself.
This is asking
Yeah.
me to look inward. So that means I did something
That was
right.
tough.
So
but
I take pride in that. And like normally I say I sustain myself on readers' tears, but that might be more that, like, if tears are something to be drank, that is something to chew on.
no, see, you sustain. This one like got you a little bit of past sustenance. You're like, I fed
I'm
myself
full.
on that shit.
I'm full.
I'm full.
No
He's
more
fucked.
slices.
I'm full. Yeah. So I think I've had a really good experience reading these books. So I'm looking forward to Forsaken Forge. I did want to talk about, guys. So before we were talking, I was talking to Andy about Harry Potter, and I had let him know that I read the books out of order. And I've talked about this briefly to people in the past, but I do love this story. I think it's very just me. So in elementary school, I'm telling basically Tim doesn't know the story, guys. So I'm telling him the story, and you guys can listen on. And if you're angry about it, leave a comment about it. So I read these books in elementary school. I've never watched the movies, but I always saw like the movie marathons that would come out during the winter on like TV on like ABC Family or whatever it was, right? And you would see like book 1 or movie 1 this night, a week later movie 2 or whatever it is, or this weekend 1, 2, and 3, or like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Never watched those. I saw one of our family friends watching them one day in their house, and I was like, "What is that? That looks lame." Never watched it. See where we're going with this? That looks lame. Harry Potter looks lame to a 8, 9, 10-year-old Arish. So this was 4th grade, and in school, you have these things called AR tests, accelerated reading, advanced reading tests, whatever it is, right? You read a book, you go to the computer lab, you take an exam on the book, you get points, and everybody had to get a certain number of points just to have this is your requirement for the year. And if you wanted to do more, you would get ribbons for doing more.
Okay.
Things like that, right?
That's fun.
So,
see, I thought you were going to say, if you do this, you get fed.
this is how my boarding school worked. No, so for some reason, 4th grade, I really got the reading itch that year. I'd been a reader for a while and reading books growing up, and I really enjoyed books. But I really got the kick. I was like, I really want to do more than just what I'm required to do here. Because I would always read enough to get to like the 3rd ribbon, but I never got this like silver star ribbon or the star reader award, which is like a certain number of points. So I went into the library. I looked for the biggest book I could find with the most amount of points. And it was Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix.
So
which book did I start? The first book I read in the Harry Potter series was book 5. And then I said, I had no clue what was going on. I read that shit. And I took that exam and I passed it to get the points. And then I went to the next biggest book in the series, book 6. Or I think it was book 6. And then I think I went backwards to book 4. And then I went forwards to book 7. Then I went back to book 3, back to book 1. And then what happened was...
my soul.
So what happened was...
my soul.
In the 5th grade...
Hold on real quick. Imagine if she had put recaps. Imagine if she had put recaps
that would
in
have
the front
made
of
me
the
so
book.
much more confused. Because I would have been like, book 5 recap to book 4 is this. Okay, book 4 recap to book 3 is what the fuck is going on? Wait, book 7 recap to book 6.
Traveling.
What the fuck?
You're time traveling.
Was. It's like on TV when you see reruns, but you catch it like in the middle of like the big like 500 episode thing. You catch like episode like 300. Like, what are these characters doing?
Who are they?
What's this story? Why do we care? Who is this person? Why do they hate him? So, book 2, Chamber of Secrets. My friend and I in 5th grade just wanted to challenge ourselves and be idiots. So we both went to the same computer, 2 different computers next to each other in class. We both turned on the Chamber of Secrets exam, not having read it, to see who can score higher blind. Spoiler alert, 20 years later, we both failed. And we both got infractions because they thought we were cheating. Because we were taking it side by side. They didn't understand the concept of a gentleman's challenge. And so...
They didn't understand the gauntlet that was thrown.
They just, we failed. So they got a little like, "Oh, you failed an exam. Why did you do this?" And, "Oh, you 2 were taking it together. You guys must have been cheating." "Okay, infraction." I was like, "Whatever. It's an infraction." This was 5th grade.
Yeah, my
So it's
permanent record can handle.
exactly. And to be fair, in 4th grade, I did end up getting the Star Ribbon Award, by the
Oh,
way.
congratulations.
And
Do you still have it?
maybe at my high school, my childhood
I
home,
hope you have it.
I might.
I hope you have it. If you
If I
have it,
ever go back and I go through my shit,
I
and if
want you
I
to use
see
it
it,
as a
I'll take a picture of
bookmark.
it. That'd be so funny. Be so funny. I so going to that, I never retried it in 5th grade because like every year it resets.
Yeah.
So every year you have to read more books to like get that thing, and I was like, I just don't want to.
I mean, you've
I don't
already
want to.
peaked.
I already read the biggest,
You've achieved.
baddest book in the library. I don't have time for this. So the cat, the ice cream, the cherry on top of this entire story is I ended up loving the series.
Did you ever go back and read it in order?
I never read book 2. Till this day, I've never read book 2.
Okay. All right.
But based on I think as I was reading the book out of order, I ended up watching the movies in order. I
Mhm.
watched book I watched movie 1, movie 2, movie 3. I was like, I don't need to read book 2. I've already watched movie number 2. So I really fell in love with the series then.
Mm.
But that's just how my foray into Harry Potter was a very and till this day, I'll still do some fuck shit like that. What was it? It was, um, Seth Ring's Novaterra Titan series. So Novaterra is Forge Master,
Mhm.
book 1 of that series. And this is like this cool Titan who was supposed to be teleported from world number 1 into the higher worlds over here. Something happens with the teleportation beam, and he gets knocked out and moved to a different world,
Okay.
whatever it is, right? So he's off kilter, off course. And so he was this OP badass, um, warlock type earth mage, like completely he
Is
was
it sci-fi or fantasy or kind of
lit
a
RPG,
blend? Okay.
lit RPG. But more so on the fantasy side than like this. Oh, it's a blend, so it's more
Okay.
so lit
Like
RPG.
science fantasy,
Yeah.
lit RPG.
And so he was like literally the OPest person on Earth, which was Angoril, because a virtual reality game had taken over Earth itself. And so Angoril was the world, and his name was Thorn, and he became like the guy. He was the fucking dude. He won, essentially. And then he was like, oh, this is part of a bigger world, bigger thing is going on. I'm going to teleport myself to the higher worlds. And we're gonna fuck around up there. We're gonna fuck around and find out up there. I thought that was so cool. I was like, oh, cool. This guy's already been OP. Like the story of him getting to being OP has already happened, and I'm picking up of him already having been OP, going to this new world, and then his abilities are knocked back down to like base level because he's in this new world where his OPness is kind of like what everybody else was.
Kind of
So
mid.
he has to kind of like climb himself back up a little bit. He's a little bit nerfed. I thought that was really cool. You see that book called Titan Book 1 right there?
Uh-huh.
So that's part of a 10-book series that explains how Thorn
Became
OP. That's actually the first series.
Okay.
But I just randomly picked up Forge Master, and because I started a bookstore, and I thought this was like book 1. I didn't research it. I didn't do anything like that.
Well, is it?
It's book 1, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like
But it's
like sequel
reconnected.
series.
Yeah.
Sequel series almost, right? So
But you don't need the context of this.
apparently not, because I fuck with Forge Master heavy,
Yeah.
and I tried reading Titan, and I just didn't want to get into it.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, I already know he becomes OP and has these abilities now. And right now, I don't want to read how he did it. I want to read what he's going to do next.
Yeah.
Because I'm always been a person who's like, what are they going to do next? I don't really always care about the backstory and the history and how they became like this. I want to know, what are they doing next with who they are. So I do shit like that all the time. I'll go into anything blind, and I'll be like, so now we're here. Record scratch.
So
You're probably wondering how I got here.
So okay. You went 5, 6, 4, 7, 3, 1. What the fuck?
You can blame the point allocation of the Aiken Elementary School in their school library as to why I did that, because I just wanted points.
I have a bone to pick with your library.
You bet you do.
I do.
So,
because yeah, you're rewarding based on anyway. So okay.
I would love to say I'm different now. I would love to say that I would never do that now.
Okay, so something that like I did like NetGalley, right,
Mhm.
for the series. So I don't know. When you do arc reads, would you ever pick up? I mean, I'm not asking you. I know your answer, but like, would you pick up a book 3 of a trilogy and be like, all right, I'll start here, and with no context of book 1, 2. Like if it's a long series or there's episodics,
Yeah.
because like thinking about Harry Potter, you could theoretically like if you went 1 and then 3 and then 5 and like still in ascending order, but like,
Yeah.
or if you went 1, 3, 2, or 1, 4, 2,
Mm.
or 1, 5, like I feel like before 4, if you like, it almost doesn't matter.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, like 2 and 3 are interchangeable.
Well, it's because 1, 2, and 3 are episodic in nature in terms
Yeah,
of, like, there's,
and
like,
then
the conflict and
it
resolution,
expands.
and then it opens up.
Yeah,
Like, almost every series larger than 3 books, like, almost every author does this. The first 2 to 3 books are episodic, and by the end of the 3rd book, it shows you this the bigger, grander big bad that overarches the rest of the series. That's just how it is, and then you have mini conflicts inside the books, but every book deals with the overall big bad.
yeah.
I would like to say I think it's a testament to young Arish's reading comprehension that I picked up on a good amount of shit. Now, it definitely hurt my brain to be like, "What the fuck
I
is
mean, you were
happening
time
here?
traveling. You
What the
had a
fuck is
time
happening?"
turner.
Yeah.
You did read that book. That was in book 3, the time.
Yeah,
Like I was like, wait a second. Yeah, you did read that
Moaning
one.
Myrtle never knew her, so
No, no, no. No. Well, she shows up in book 4.
Yeah, she does, yeah. That's fair.
But yeah, that's
Mildly.
funny. You were like, who the hell is this Colin Creevy kid?
Yeah. Tom Riddle? Who the fuck? Tom Marvolo Riddle. Who?
So my sister is like her, okay, you know how like some people make something their whole personality? My sister's was Harry Potter
Mhm,
to the point where this is somewhat recently. This is like within the last 5 years. We were at the beach, and do you
mhm.
remember Sporkle?
Yes.
So we did a Sporkle of random Harry Potter trivia,
Mhm.
and my brother-in-law is an expert gaslighter.
I see.
So he's doing the Sporkle. He's reading off the questions to her. She's answering on the spot.
I see.
Boom, 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 rapid fire. She's just like, yep, up. Things I have no idea. I'm
Yeah.
like, so then he says one and he gives me a look. He gives me a wink and he says one and it is, he's pulling out of his ass. It's totally made up to try to stump her. And she immediately goes, not a thing. Stone cold, straight face. Like, she just goes, not a thing.
That's so good.
And then she looks at him and goes, are you trying to fuck with me? Like she was like, how dare you? Like it was,
Yeah.
dude, so real. So like her whole personality,
Yeah.
was Harry Potter.
Mhm.
So like I wonder like when people like hear this and go like, you did what now?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure it's combined with being a Harry Potter fan, but also you just read a book 5 out of a 7-book series and then just started jumping around.
Bold move, Cotton.
So yeah, that is the story of me and Harry Potter, and like I said, I have learned my lesson. I don't
Have
really
you?
do that. I'm trying to think if I have done that ever, but I don't think I have, which is good. It's
Yeah.
good.
I
It's a
feel
good
like it
thing.
works for like a middle grade to young adult
Yeah.
series ish.
Mhm.
Like I'm trying to think if you did that with a
I couldn't do that with your books. There's just too much shit. I definitely couldn't do that with, like, this Rise of the Ranger series. It's a 9-book series right here.
Mhm.
The Echo Saga. Couldn't do that.
Um, have you read the Darkblade series?
Darkblade.
Assassin, Andy Pelican.
No, I've not.
Oh, okay. Because like I feel like some of those you could probably like. There's an overarching, but there's also
Mhm,
like like this is the story that's happening here.
mhm.
Um, but eventually you're just gonna get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man. as the
I think because back in the day, I used to read a lot of, like, the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drews, like, those kinda things where
that can be they're
you can
purely
just they're
episodic.
so episodic, and there's no overarching thing that I was probably like, "Oh, this is just another one of those things."
So Scholastic Book Fair, the year is 1997.
That's when I was born.
Tell me that makes me feel
Oh.
old. Don't tell me that. 97, 98. I'm in 3rd grade.
Sure.
Scholastic Book Fair. I see the dopest book cover. And at that point, and still now, you buy a book based on the cover.
100%.
So this book,
I just talked about it, which ones I did, yep.
yeah, I mean, and it often works.
Yeah.
Me with the Animorphs. This is book 12 in a series. It does not matter. We see a girl, she's standing, her name's Rachel, and into an alligator.
Yep.
And then there's a cutout in the alligator's face, and you open the cover, and there's a full image of this alligator in the thing. And I'm like, okay, you have goodies, you have pictures, I'm in. And you open up page 1, and in the by the page number in the bottom right, there's like picture of like a girl. Page 2, girl. Page 3, girl. Flip it. And it's a flip book that turns the girl into the alligator. I'm like, I'm sold. Give me every book in the series. Do you know how many books are in that series? 68. It's something like 68. I'll have to refresh my memory. There's like 68, and then there's like the Hork-Bajir Chronicles and the Andalite Chronicles, and there's like this series. That was my personality from from like 3rd through 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
define my personality. Also, why I have trauma and write trauma.
fair. I was gonna say, because Baba's talked about this series a lot too, like Animorphs was one of the books he grew up reading as well, along with like Redwall. And I saw these books so much at my school library back when I was in elementary school, and I always looked at them. I was like, I do want to read that. I really want to. I really want to read. And I never ever picked it up.
Yeah.
And I do wonder if I could go back and just think, why did I actually never pick it up? And I just kept going to other ones. Did I feel intimidated by it? Did I want to wait for something? Did I think it just looked cool and wasn't gonna be that cool? Did I think it was like cringy? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was like, something I think, there's something there. I really like the way I also fuck with the human changing into an animal on the cover. Every single one of them had it like that, and it was a cool concept.
You know what? I do think, because like I don't like, so okay, fun fact, I don't like talking animals. Like in the Bone Shard Daughter, right? That's what it's called?
Yes.
Okay. I just had a dungeon crawler Carl moment where I couldn't get my R's out. Don't mind that twitch. Like, so in that book, the Mephi, is it Mephi?
Mephi.
Once he started talking, I was like, I'm out. I can't do this. Stupid, but like it's just a thing for me. I don't like talking animals. So I think it's because I was like, the Animorphs did it cooler.
Interesting.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
None of that.
Well, similarly, I don't like talking animals per se, but I think I've been able to enjoy fantastical beasts like the sea creatures and the dragons. And if you read Jamie Stovall's series, like, you know how in Pokemon they don't talk, but in Digimon they do talk. And Jamie Stovall's series, all the creatures do talk and things like that. So I like that. But if it's like normal animals talking in books, I'm like, I don't really need that. We know what's really cool though? I do want to say this Fireborn series, dragons don't talk. Dragon riders, no magic, they don't talk. Dragons breathe fire and do all their stuff. They have battle suits that keep them on there and not being burned by their dragon's fire, all like the technical stuff. Dragons don't talk. You just have that
empathic connection.
Empathic connection to know how they're feeling and things like that. I fuck with that too.
I mean, that's more like horses.
Yeah.
Horses don't talk.
Yeah.
But they feel.
I don't feel what a horse feels though.
It feels what you feel. That's the thing. You don't need to. It feels. They're like real life dragons.
That's why I like Rangers so much. I fucking love Rangers. That's why I was so upset that this book was like not the best thing because it was based on a Ranger's Apprentice again, and I love Rangers. Rangers are my favorite class to read about. I am gonna start JDL. Okay. I messed up again. So I after I finished that book, I was like, I need an actually good Ranger book. I remember JDL Rossell wrote one, The
Yeah,
Last Ranger.
Josiah.
Um, and I had
Have you read Legend of Tall?
So as I had it in my head to go read his Last Ranger book, one thing led to another, and I downloaded Legend of Tall. So I currently have that on my Kindle.
Okay.
And I told Andy, yeah, I read this one and I didn't like it, and I was gonna go read something else, and he was like, I was gonna go read JDL Rossell's book. He's like, "Oh, The Last Ranger?" I was like, "Yep."
Nope.
I don't know where my books I don't know what I'm looking at or what I'm reading, but yes, I'm reading currently Legends of Tall,
Okay.
which I think is still actually started pretty cool. I kind of fuck with it, but I do wanna go read Last
Yeah,
Ranger
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
I mean, he has the Titan Wilds. He has
Yeah.
like the Famine Cycle. He's
Yeah.
got a lot of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, he does. Oh, yes, he's the one who wrote Famine Cycle book cover goes
Oh,
crazy.
dude, all his art
His
is
shit
top
goes
tier.
crazy.
His branding is on point.
Yeah.
On fleek.
Yeah.
Top.
I like that a lot.
Double S tier.
We're just talking, and so we kind of expected this to happen.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
did
yeah.
kind of expect this to happen.
And I feel like we have 3 episodes in here. Inane
Probably,
crap.
probably, and I'm going
Random
to
stuff.
upload all 2 hours of this at once and just let people listen. But are there any last things that you'd like to say before I ask you my usual 2 questions at the end of the podcast?
Okay. Is there anything I want to say? I feel like you need to have a soapbox, otherwise, what's the point of having? Okay. The release of this book has been such a season of unsettled, tumultuous, shifting sands of a foundation beneath me, right? Like, in the last 6 months, I've moved across the country, working through a number of different things. A lot of things that I thought were certainties are not certain. A lot of things that I thought were fixed are really not. And so having the flexibility, the adaptability, and the human resources, and what I mean by that is the social support system that I've had, is really the reason why, like a cat, I fell out of the tree, but I landed all 4 legs on the ground, and ready to like move, go, change direction, etc. And so I don't know who needs to hear this, but like everyone's got someone. So whether you have reached out to them or you haven't reached out to them in a while, if you need, give your boy, give your girlfriend, give like whoever is in your life, your parents, your friends, your cousins, whatever, give them a hug.
Give him a hug.
Say thank you. Like there's so many things that we think are, I die without this. A lot of stuff doesn't matter. Like that's what I've learned in this season. A lot of stuff does not matter, but like the human capital, the relationships that you invest in, the people who are like in your corner, not for any other reason than because like love. That's give those people in your life a hug.
Yeah.
Say thank you.
Yeah.
Let them know, because we don't do that enough.
Yeah.
It's just
I've been talking a lot about checking in on the homies more because with one of my best friends, he's been like a brother to me all these years. We started last year when he graduated, or last year, the past 2 years when he graduated, we realized, okay, we're not checking in with each other more
Yeah.
often, and we want to, right? So now we both have a calendar invite at the end of every month. It's check in with a brother, and we just get on a call and we just talk and just catch up. What did you do for the month? Did you do the thing you were going to say you were going to do? We help keep each other accountable,
Yeah.
things like that, right? And so that's what I really enjoy doing. And that's what I try to do with a good amount of my friends is periodically like check in. The podcast originally last year when I kind of kickstarted it back up is what it was for. Like I want to talk to my homies, but I also want to talk to them on this. Let's just talk.
Yeah.
Like let's just catch up or things like that. And then some of them were offline. Like, how are you doing? How are things going? Um, is there any way that I can also help? Because I realize that I do like to help my friends. Like, that's one of the reasons why I am doing this thing is a way to help my friends in some way, form, or fashion in the future. Same way where you want your you want to build a roadmap for others to follow. I want to build something others can like build on top of if
Yeah.
they want to. And I've just realized that because I don't haven't made a physical friend here yet in the past year and a half that I've been here, and that was voluntarily, I intentionally sabotage myself out
Mm.
of the human capital thing of like having physically people around me to like go see, go hang out with, have this type of interaction with people. And so I tried to put more emphasis at least on virtually texting,
Yeah.
DMing, how are you doing? How are things going? Recently, a friend of mine who I reconnected with last year after college, he's in a different state. He's doing a lot of like, he's a scientist. He's doing a lot of other things. He just recently got his EMT certification and he put that online. I was like, bro, I'm so proud of you. And he was actually like, that means a lot. And if he were to say the same thing to me, I'd be like, that also means a lot because um, you just forget that there's just a lot of people who are want to be in your corner.
Yeah.
You just don't let them. You don't talk to them. Like, same thing with this. Like, people want to buy these books. You just have to tell them about it. You know, people maybe want to listen to us talk. We just have to tell them about it.
Yeah.
Like, and or people want to talk to you. You just have to check in and say, "Hi, how's it going? You want to
Yeah.
catch up?"
People need an invitation now. I think our generation is just like
Mm.
we need to be invited into a space because
That's oh my
we will
god.
not knock on the door unless the door is open.
I was thinking about that. That's been like one of my essential like themes over the past half year is how do I or one, yes, the way I've approached content and Fablewear and the podcast is I wish somebody would invite me to the stage, right? Whereas other people say, "I'm going there.
Yeah.
Like, let me in. I'm coming. Like,
Yeah.
I'm bringing
Knock
my
knock,
bags."
open.
Yeah. And so it's really that understanding. I'm still thinking of it as a mindset of I wish people would invite me into their space, you know? Versus now I'm just like, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make the space and we're gonna do this thing. But it took a while for me to get there. And that's only because I'm creating something, doing something that's gonna force me to get there. If you're just a normal like millennial Gen Z person, things like that, yeah, we are waiting to be invited places because that's just what we've grown up. Like we think everything needs to be private because so many things are online. We think um, you have so many friends, so many connections, etc. Like you, if you had wanted me there, you would have asked
Mhm.
instead of me asking, "Hey, can I come?" Because nobody wants to be that guy who says,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah.
hey, can I come?" and then also gets rejected doubly.
Yeah.
So what we do is we end up rejecting ourselves before other people have an opportunity to reject us. But what we don't do is think there might be an opportunity for somebody to reject me, but there also could be an opportunity for somebody to accept me. And which one would I like more? Asking and being rejected, asking and being accepted, or not asking at all and
Yeah.
rejecting myself. I have been rejecting myself all these years. Just recently in January, did my cousin, who's a psychiatrist, like or psychologist, sorry, was like, "I think you're rejecting yourself." I'm like,
Mm. Oh.
it was a gut
Yeah.
punch, but and we're here now, right? And so that's a really good point. I don't even have to ask you your one advice because we just talked about it. Tim, where can people find
Hug
you?
your homie. I'm most active on TikTok. I'm also on Instagram. You can like the Discord is the place to be. Um,
Torch,
First Torch
First
Books.
Torch Books, Discord. It has been in my link tree for a while. I think I took it down just to like funnel everybody to the Kickstarter.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but I'm gonna put the invite link into this description. If you want to come join the First Torch Book Club, please do. We have readers in there. We have authors in there. So you could be either one. And if you're not a reader but you want to start reading, you could also drop in there. There are some of the kindest souls and the sweetest, most like sociable souls that I've met in a while in there that I don't interact with 'cause I just can't handle that much sociability and kindness in my life. And if I did, I'd be like, "Fuck, I don't know how to respond to this," you know? So, there's some amazing people in there. Definitely come through to the First Social Book Club. Come through to TikTok, come through to Book Talk, Tim Facciola, or is it Epic Fantasy Author still?
I think it's at Tim
At
Facciola.
Tim
Yeah.
Facciola, right? Come through. He's live. He goes live
We
sometimes.
need to go live together, and we need to go back to doing that.
You know, the amount of times and like last year, we started it, then we stopped it because
Mhm.
it just reasons, and the amount of times that I'd be in people's, uh, lives and they were like, "Dude, when are you guys gonna go live again? I liked them." I'm like, "I just you liked them, cool, but there are like 3 people there,"
Mm.
you know, which is fine, but it's hard to do it consistently
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
there's 3
yeah.
people there, and I think at some point we also ran out of, like, what do we talk about right now?
Yeah,
Because we're
yeah.
doing this weekly, and there's only so much we can talk about, just us 2, because 'cause we've exhausted our own repertoire of books.
You know
It's fun when we can invite people in
Yeah,
and have
for
a group
sure.
collaborative talk about topics, but then they get repetitive or
Or
we
that
had the issue
we
with people who we called in were a bit
like
questionable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, we need a vetting process, you know?
Guys,
You
it
gotta check pass the vibe check.
it got to a point where Tim and I had, like, a visual code that like a
If the
sign,
fidget spinner comes
if the
out,
fidget spinner comes out and I'm fidgeting with something like this or whatever it is as we're doing it, or Tim is as well, we're like, "Okay, we need to do something.
it
We
means
need to
wrap it
change
up.
wrap it up or
Yeah.
pivot topics or something like that."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shut it
And
down. Shut
so
it down.
you know, I think those experiences are still cool because we would've never had that experience
Yeah, yeah,
had
yeah.
not we done the lives. I do think I wanna bring it back, but I think it's just once again, like, it is hard to do,
Yeah.
um, without some sort of, like, system or engagement in there.
Sure.
Like, we tried to do Will of the Many, but, that was tough because we enjoyed reading
Yeah,
through it,
I had a
and
great time
that was
hanging out with
really
you.
fun talking, but nobody had really read the book
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that would join the lives, and so nobody was in there, you know? So it's things like that, like, thinking about things like that, thinking through things like that is what you'd have to think about. So much thinking. Tim, I'm gonna let you go after this one question. So last year when you came on the podcast, as the first time coming on the podcast, I asked you what your one advice is. I don't remember what it was. Do you remember what it was? No. So if I am not too lazy with editing, I'll go and find it and clip it into this. If I'm too lazy with editing, go back and watch that video.
Let's
So this, I promise this is the last one, because I want you to be able to go on that walk and have that quality time. For anybody listening today, what is one advice you'd like to give them?
There are so many doubters, so many disbelievers. You can't be one of them. If you are, you better be doing it to spite yourself. Like,
Mhm.
I don't believe it, so I'm gonna prove myself wrong because like
Mhm.
it's there's there's too many people who um for their own shortcomings will need to for their sake, because once again, going back to the 4 agreements, it's not personal. Even if it's a personal attack against you, it's not personal. It's not. They don't know you. They think they know you. Their word is not impeccable. They lack integrity. Who knows?
Mhm.
um like, assume nothing. um but it is up to you to always do your best in all the things that you do, and
Yeah.
you do need to believe in yourself, because other people, because they lack those things, they lack that awareness, they lack that self um assurance or belief in themselves, that they will try to cut you down. If you allow them to, if you lack the belief in yourself, you will succumb to their knives, and that is, you will not reach your potential. And going back to me being a one, tying it full circle back to my Enneagram, I want people to be the best versions of themselves that is possible. And I do believe we're all meant for our own version of greatness, and it looks different for everyone. Our own version of success, it looks different for everyone. It feels different for everyone. But you have to believe it's out there, and you have to move to it. You need to sisu. You need to go, even when you can't see it.
See if I have, how smart am I? How good is my advice then and now?
Oh, you're not giving me your advice. I have to ask you.
Okay.
When you look in a mirror, who do you see?
When I look in the mirror, who do I see? If you would have asked me that 6 months ago, I would have said someone who has tried really, really hard. Someone who is tired. And someone who prides themselves on the hits they can take and keep getting back up. And now I'd say, look at myself in the mirror, and what I see is the same person, but now I honor that person instead of pity that person. I think, like, I believe in redemption arcs, right? And so when I look at myself in the mirror, I see someone who has tried and failed. I see someone who has tried and succeeded. I see someone who has tried and it didn't work out the way you thought. You planted one seed and you got a different kind of fruit. But I see someone who's always trying and do good, do right for all. And like, that is something I can always hang my hat on. It was true then. It's true now. I felt bad for that person then. And now I look at that person and say, like, it was worth it then. It's worth it now. And it will be worth it tomorrow too. I don't know if that answers your question the way you thought I was going to answer it. But
it does. You want to know why?
Why?
So this year, I reached out to similar guests that I had last year to come back on the podcast. And I was thinking about this. Like, I don't want to re-ask somebody what their one advice is, because I did that last year with some people who came at the beginning of the year and repeated at the end of the year, and they had similar advice. I'm like, okay, it's kind of the same. So if you're a repeat guest, so if you're a first-time guest, I'll ask you what your one advice is. Very vague question, but if there's anything in your heart that you're like, I want to give advice to this person, give it. As a second time coming on, I want to ask you, who do you see when you look in the mirror? And all three of the men that I had asked that to this year have said they see a man who tries. And it's a man who's trying.
That's crazy.
So now all four of the men
4 for 4
that I've asked this year have said that. I've not asked any women. That's on me. To bring women on the podcast twice and then ask her. But isn't that interesting?
I feel like we could start a whole sociological
episode about this, which we have to not get into the weeds about this right now. But if somebody were to reverse that question onto me and ask me that, there's a world where I might give that answer as well. There's a world where I would say, I see someone who literally refuses to stop trying because they consistently feel like they're not trying hard enough and not doing enough and not being enough. Therefore, they will continue to try, because the only regret I would ever have looking back is having not have tried. If I have tried and have failed, and eventually I thought this is just not for me, I'll pivot to something else, I would accept that out of myself. But if I had not tried enough to where I was like, if I had put a little bit more gas in the tank, could I have done it? And if I have that question in my head, I know that I'm going to keep doing it. So,
there's something to be said. There's something to be said for the effort. But I think, again, if you would have asked me 6 months ago, it would have stayed there. I tried. Versus now, it's like the effort is worth it regardless of the fruit. because it might not be what you expected. Might not be the fruit of the seeds that you planted, but there is something there. There is like conservation of energy. You put in, you are getting something out. It just might not be in the way you expected. And are you okay with that? Then I don't think I was. Now I do.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Dude, so good to be
I know.
in the room
Physically,
for the podcast.
You're the first person that I've done an in-person podcast with since 2023 when I launched this thing, and I did it out of my house then. And this is coming once again full circle. And thank you for doing this. Thank you for coming down. This is one of the best moments of the year already. Guys, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the End Goal podcast. Once again, if you're interested in the Kickstarter, the link's down below. Can't hurt to take a look, listen to the audiobook, skim through read the sample word for word. Don't skim through it. Don't be like me. Read the sample.
Or at least look at the pictures. There's pictures.
There's pictures. We all love pictures. See how the special edition looks. Take a look at it. Let us know what you think. And we will talk to you next time. Peace. Dude, I was looking at your picture there and not here. I thought you flipped him off.
Could you imagine?